Growing up as a young lady, there is so much fear in me, and that fear was fear of making wrong choice in marriage. As a result of that, I read so many books about marriages. I attended so many conferences, seminars, webinars about marriage because I don't want to make mistake in marriage. But guess what? In all of this, there are still bad advice I receive about relationship. Welcome to our channel. In this channel, we talk everything about love, dating, marriage, business, finance, and self-development. In today's episode, I want to share with you 8 worst advice I received about relationship and marriage. Indeed, there are worst advice you could ever receive about relationship and marriage. I want you to grab your pen and grab your paper and let's journey together, because the truth is this: if you don't know the truth, you will think that it is a right advice. But may I tell you, it is not right advice. It is not good advice. Indeed, it is worst advice that I could ever receive in a Number one, if your husband or your husband to be, may I say your boyfriend in quotes, have never ever beat you, this simply means that he did not love you. My dear, worst advice. Beating someone in a relationship, whether marriage or dating, is abusive. I don't see how you can prove to me that you love me by beating me. You know, when I heard this, I was like, really? And the auntie was like, yes, they will use it to prove that they love you. My dear, never you ever go into relationship that someone will raise his hand or her hand even to beat you. It's so abusive. So never you think that someone to love you or to showcase that he or she love you, he must beat you. So never you accept that bad advice, worst advice, that your husband or your husband to be must beat you in order to prove that he loves you, is a bad advice. Honestly, when I look back, I was like, what was this woman thinking when she told me about this thing? That she is beaten or she was be beaten by the husband does not necessarily mean that it's right, and that does not necessarily mean that the husband loves her. So never you ever accept the advice that your spouse, your husband to be, or your husband must beat you to prove that he loves you. Number 2, marriage is 50-50. Bad advice. I have seen so many people that say that a marriage is 50-50. The man have to bring 50%, the woman have to bring 50%. May I ask you, who is weighing all these things? True marriage, pure marriage, marriage that lasts, does not have that weighing machine of 50-50. If you really want to make your marriage to work, you will have to give 100. Doesn't care about whether your spouse give 50, 60, 40, 10. You have to give 100, because it's not about finding a better husband or a better wife. It's about being the best person in that marriage. If you are giving 50-50 in your marriage, my dear, your marriage will sink. So never you ever take that advice that marriage is 50-50, because a holy marriage, a heaven and earth marriage, a loving marriage doesn't care about 50-50. It's a bad advice. Number 3, you should play hard to get by someone who wants to date you. My dear, if you are in love with someone, if someone really loves you, there's no need playing hard to get, because the truth is this: not everyone have that strength, not everyone have that capability or that energy to continue pursuing you or chasing you, to running after you. You know, if you truly love this person, if you see that this person truly loves you, there's no need of making it hard for that person. I'm not talking about having sex before marriage or all these things. No, I am talking about be vulnerable, open up to the person, to understand you, to know you, to walk along with you. Don't make it too difficult for him to get you, because the truth is this: you might be thinking you are making it difficult for him to get you and you lose him. So it's a bad advice, because I have seen so many ladies, so many women. As a youth coach, I have seen so many people that try to play hard for men to get them, but Do you know what? Next news they had is that the men they are thinking they are doing hard to get is getting married to another woman. So never you play too hard to get if you truly love the person and if the person truly love you. Another worst advice I have received about relationship is the more you earn more, the more you chase men away. My dear, the time has gone. Every woman, every man need a helper. Irrespective of how much rich this man is, he need a helper. And may I tell you the truth, if a man run away because you are earning more, it's his problem, not your problem. You can't lower your standard because you don't want him to run away because you are earning more. The truth is this, the more you earn, the more respectful the man will have as a husband. So never you stop updating yourself because you think if I earn more, if I update myself, if I get more education, the man will run away or I am chasing the man away. If the man run away, the man have inferiority complex problem. You are not his problem. His problem is beyond physical. Never you ever say sorry when you are dating. Ooh. You know, just like as I told you, I have read so many books about marriage and dating and all those things. The truth is this, let's remove dating and marriage in all this topic. When someone offended you, what are you expecting from the person, right? You are expecting for the person to say sorry. Imagine you are in a relationship and you know you want to spend your lifetime with this person. Why can't you open your mouth and say sorry? It doesn't matter who offends who. You know, some people will say the moment you say sorry, you are reducing your self-esteem. You are, my dear, may I tell you, when it comes to marriage, it's not about self-esteem. It's about building a long-lasting marriage. If you don't say sorry to him, if you don't say sorry to her, why then are you saying sorry to other people? So it's a bad advice not to say sorry to your husband to be or to your wife to be or even to your husband because you don't want to lose your self-esteem. Which kind of self-esteem is that? Another worst advice I received as a young person who wants to marry and make it right in her marriage is never you buy gifts for a man that is dating you. You see, sometimes when I sit down to look at all those things, because I do take notes, anytime I go to conference, read books, anything, I do take notes. When I sit down to listen or to read all those things, I feel like, what did this person have in mind? Never you buy gift to someone that is dating you. My dear, may I ask you, this person, you know that this person will be your husband or this person will be your wife. You want to spend your entire life with this person. Why can't you buy gifts for this person? It's the person's birthday, or even if it is not the birthday, that you buy gift does not mean that the person will say, oh, you look so cheap or something. No, anybody can exchange gifts with anybody. Anyone can exchange gifts with anyone. So never you buy this idea that you should never buy gift for a man that is dating you. May I tell you, love is about giving, not even receiving. The more you give, the more you feel like to give. The more you give, the more you are blessed. So never you buy idea that if you give him more gifts or if you buy gifts for him, it seems like you are begging him or you are keeping or you are making yourself to be low. Is a worst advice. That advice is never you pay whenever you go out to eat with him. Yes, I know it depends on people's understanding, but may I tell you, if you keep going out for dates with this person and you know that this person will marry you, why are you waiting for him to be the person to always pay if you can able to pay, if you have the money to pay? May I tell you, if you keep allowing him to pay, of a time it seems like you are too much depend on him. At once you could have paid for one time, two times, at least to show that I have something, I am not dependent on you. Do you understand? So never you buy the advice to allow the man to always pay anytime you go out for it, or anytime you go out for eating or for something to take snacks or juice or something of that nature. Once in a while you can pay. It doesn't take anything out from the love. Another worst advice I received about relationship is your partner must love you more than you love him or her. Ooh, please, let's be sincere. Let's help one another. Imagine Mr. A is waiting for me to love him more than he loved me, and I am waiting for Mr. A to love me more than I love him. Do you think that marriage will hold? So never you buy this idea that your husband, your spouse, your wife must love you more than you love him. It's not good advice. Just as I said, some people said marriage should be 50-50. Let's be sincere. If you can love him more than he loves you, that's okay. In marriage, there are little things that we don't weigh. In marriage, there are things that we overlook in order for marriage to stand strong. If you're waiting for your spouse to love you more than you love him or more than you love her, you are not ready to get married. So never you ever try to wait for your spouse to love you more than you love her or to love her more than you love him. Please, it's a very bad advice. Thank you so much, my YouTube friends. We have come to the end of this episode. I hope you get something that will help you not to make mistake in your marriage. Please don't forget to share in the comments your takeaway and like the video. Also, you can share to your friends who will benefit from our videos. Thank you, and I will see you in another episode. Shalom.